Welcome and thanks for joining us for a special edition of Technado. This is our kind of holiday insert because we are going to be taking some time this week to spend the holidays with family and friends and loved ones, and we hope that you are too. But as always, I am Sophie, one of your hosts, and instead of talking tech news, we're going to have something a little bit different this week. Don, do you want to give us some insight?
Yeah, I was looking at the calendar and everybody put in vacation requests for next week. So literally nobody's going to be here. So what do we do for Technado? And I said, why don't we pre-record something? We certainly want to extend a heartfelt happy holidays, Merry Christmas. Hanukkah's over at this point, but Happy Hanukkah.
Belated.
Yep. Merry Kwanzaa,
Festivus.
Happy Festivus, right? In
the
whichever
rest of us.
whichever holiday event that you and your family choose to participate in, we hope that you have a
That it was
happy,
a good time.
warm time.
Yes.
Yeah, it's hard in Florida. Like everybody else is dealing with snow, and we don't have that. But we want to make sure that everybody's having a good time out there. We will be taking time off to spend with our family and take a break on making fun of people for cybersecurity breaches. So, it's just a nice time to kick back and relax. But one of the ways that I spend time, Daniel, Sophie, we watch a lot of movies, and we talk about movies here on the show. And, oftentimes we've all seen different movies, so we kind of give each other homework assignments. I thought it would be fun to share what were our favorite Christmas movie, and assign that as a homework assignment out if you haven't seen these, or if you need something to bring in the holiday spirit. Here's how you can go with it. Who wants to go first?
I think Daniel should go first because Daniel always has some real interesting recommendations.
So what do you think my favorite holiday movie is? Let's start there.
You want a legitimate guess?
Yes, yeah.
Die Hard.
Die Hard.
I figured it'd be the Nutcracker.
You know me all too well, Don. It's like we share a brain.
The sucker for good ballet.
So I do really like Die Hard. Thank you. Yes, brain. Come on, brain. I had to get it back from Don. He was holding it for a moment there. So Die Hard is a great and a must-watch holiday movie, but it is not my favorite Christmas movie. My favorite Christmas movie is First Blood.
Huh.
All right.
Right?
All right.
And you're thinking, Daniel, that's a weird movie. A, yeah. But B, it will get you in the holiday season, I will say. Like the town, right? Was it New Hope or something like that? The name of the town that they were in, I forget now. It's just really decked out for Christmas. It's very 80s looking because it was early 80s. It's very, you can tell it's cold as hell. So you kind of get that cold feeling by watching it. And living in Florida, I don't really get that often. So it really gets me in the spirit. And I just love watching that movie every single Christmas.
I have never heard of this movie before.
First Blood.
Rambo First Blood?
I've never heard of First Blood, no. I've heard of Rambo. I've heard people reference Rambo, but I did not
Rambo
know
is
that's
the character in First Blood.
the Sylvester Stallone guy.
Sylvester Stallone.
Right.
And that's why the second movie was confusingly called First Blood Part 2. You're like, how many First Bloods can you have?
Listen, you notice I didn't say First Blood Part 2. That's a must watch for this holiday season. But that First Blood, it's a really good. It's a really good movie. It's a really good story. It's well acted. It's interesting. Got a lot of stars in it before they were big names, and some of them were big names, but just really interesting done. I watched the thing with Stallone saying that they hated the movie when they were done with it. They thought this is the worst movie we've ever made in our whole lives, and he had to fight to get control over it. And he said, "What are we going to do? We're going to cut out." He cut out all my dialogue. He goes, because it was just horrible. Every bit of my dialogue was horrible. So they cut all the dialogue out. And that is more of the movie of what we know nowadays, which is much more interesting.
Yeah. All right. Well, that one will bring in the Christmas spirit right there. So
my grandma's already tuned out.
Yeah.
So the
was
primary
watching.
thing is Rambo First Blood, and if you have spare time, Die Hard, right?
Okay,
Oh,
so
yeah.
that's Daniel's assignment, right? Okay.
Oh, it will be done. Along with Lethal Weapon 1.
Okay.
Yeah, that's the trilogy I watch.
That you watch at the holiday
Christmas
season.
trilogy.
Okay.
Yep.
But for you folks out there, that is your Christmas homework, your holiday homework from Daniel. Those are the holiday movies you've
That's
got
it.
to watch. As for myself, I would say there might be a little bit of controversy with this because I know it's not for everybody, but the movie that always gets me in the Christmas spirit is How the Grinch Stole Christmas, the
it's a
Jim
great
Carrey
flick.
one.
Oh, it's a great
It's
flick.
yeah. I mean the
I was with
original
you for a minute there.
the original animated one is of course great. That's always fun to
timeless,
watch.
yeah.
But I just it's nice
hysterical.
to. It is. It's a fun movie. It's just
That was
enjoyable.
prime Jim Carrey.
It was
When he was like, he wasn't like he didn't become a crazy person yet.
Mm-hmm.
He was just on the cusp, and he was just making funny jokes all the time.
Is he crazy now?
So he went crazy for a little while. I think he's kind of like come back down to
He's
earth
recovered.
a little bit. Yeah.
All right.
Celebrities go through a cycle.
Yeah,
right?
yeah. Living in Hollywood and kind of mess you up a little bit, so I don't advise it.
I just think it's a fun Christmas time movie. It's fun to make the Grinch face. Like it's just, there's so many different facets that you can enjoy. It's a comedy, it's heartwarming, and I would recommend it. You've probably seen it by this point, even if it was just like you're flipping through the channels on TV and you're like, it's that stupid Grinch movie again. You've probably seen parts of it. So there's a movie that I do enjoy. It's a Christmas movie that maybe not as many people have seen. It's still pretty mainstream, but Four Christmases
Great
with
flick.
Reese Witherspoon and Vince Vaughn. It's like a romantic comedy kind of,
Yep, very
and it's
funny.
it's quite entertaining.
Dude, I was
It's-
belly laughing. I literally, so I watch that every year because my wife likes those kind of movies as well. And that one right there, anything with Vince Vaughn, that one, he's also in Fred Claus.
Mhm.
If you haven't seen Fred Claus, pretty funny flick as well, Christmassy. So another recommendation. But Four Christmases had me like chuckling pretty good when the baby threw up.
I've not
The
even
baby
heard
does
of it.
throw up.
Yeah.
I would recommend it. It is definitely more. It's like PG-13. I would
Yeah.
say. It's something that my parents used to watch when I was a kid, and I could never watch it because it's PG-13.
And then you were 13.
And now I can watch it with them and enjoy it, and
She
we can
still
all
hasn't
laugh.
seen
It's yeah. I read the Wikipedia synopsis, and don't fact check me on that. But it is pretty fun to watch, so I would recommend it if you haven't seen it. That's my homework: The Grinch and Four Christmases, and I guess Goodfellas if you count that as a Christmas movie. But I got some flack for that, so I won't push that as hard. What about you, Don? What's your homework?
I have two movies that I watch every year, and I think I mentioned one of these in an earlier episode. But for me, like Gremlins
it's great.
is my Christmas go-to movie because it's Christmas through the whole thing, and the soundtrack is all Christmas song. That is the soundtrack that I listen to at Christmas
it's awesome.
time. It's just always.
I'll watch it every Christmas.
Yep, that's a big one for me.
I probably watch 30 movies every Christmas. That's no joke.
Yeah, I certainly have a set, and like that. I know Gremlins wasn't intended to be a Christmas movie. Like if we were to limit it to movies that were intended to be Christmas movies, the claymation Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer, the Rankin Bass one,
Yeah.
Uh,
All the Rankin Bass stuff was just so good.
Oh, yeah.
some of them
The
are really
Frosty.
bad.
Yeah, the Year Without Christmas or the
You're Without a Santa Claus. Is that the one with the Miser
Yeah.
Brothers?
That wasn't great.
I enjoyed that.
I know,
With the
my
Miser
kids like
Brothers
it, yeah.
singing. I thought, of course, I'm basically a kid, so maybe that's why.
Yeah.
They made a sequel to the Rudolph one, and it's pretty bad. Like some of them just did not hold up.
But the Frosty's a
Frosty's
good one.
good, yeah.
Mhm.
Although like so many things in there are dumb. Like the little girl locking herself in a freezer car, like that's gonna work. Or
I don't remember that.
They locked because Frosty was melting, so they put him in a
Oh.
freezer car, and then she started getting too cold, so they had to jump off and build a fire to warm her up.
Yep. But things you teach your kids not to do, like don't close
Christmas
yourself in a
tragedy.
refrigerator.
Yeah.
Don't go hoboing, on December 24th.
But yeah, that claymation Rudolph, that's a classic for me. My youngest son is actually terrified of the Bumble, so like if I watch it with him, we have to fast forward through the first 20 minutes.
Nice.
That's just what he does. But
Aw.
I love watching.
Did
that
you
one.
ever see the Mad TV Glops
No.
skit they used to do?
Glops?
And it was claymation take on cops, but they lived in like the land of make believe or whatever, right? It was all like characters and things like that. So like Gumby and the Pillsbury Doughboy, but they were all like criminals at this point, and it was like cops, and they get called to a scene. And they show up, and there's the Pillsbury Doughboy going crazy, shooting up the bakery, right? And they've got SWAT jumping on them. And one of them was they pulled Santa over, and he's inebriated, obviously.
Obviously.
Right? And they're like, whoa there, Santa, And they're like, we want to look in the trunk here. He's like, well, it's my wife's sleigh. And it is hysterical. YouTube
Boy.
that one.
That's his YouTube recommendation for your holiday homework.
Yeah.
I think another good animated Christmas, I don't know if you'd call it a full-length movie, but a Christmas special, I guess. I loved the Charlie Brown Christmas special. That was always one of my
Awesome.
favorites.
We watch that one.
It's a nice,
Every
fun.
year.
One that doesn't get a lot lot of play, but I tend to enjoy is Garfield Christmas special.
I am not a fan of that one. And we watched the Garfield Halloween like crazy.
Oh, I love that one. That was the best one. But I do like the Garfield one as well.
The Garfield cartoons are fun. I do forget about those. The older ones, they're a good time. So I'll have to watch that. I haven't seen the Christmas special.
If you really want to kind of like pad this with stuff that's just kind of fun, takes you, especially if you're from Don and I's era and have a healthy dose of nostalgia, just go to YouTube and look up 80s Christmas commercials.
Oh, the commercials are awesome.
Like 2 hours of that shit, and you're just like, oh, this is awesome.
Yeah.
The M&M, I don't know if it was as far back as the 80s, but the M&M commercial where they come in and Santa's putting the gifts under the tree, they've been using that for like 20 years.
That was like mid-90s when that came out.
They've been using that. They're still using it.
Yeah,
like they've been getting
great.
It's great.
Well, the Folgers commercial where it's pizza.
Oh,
yeah, that one's got so much play.
Yeah. Well, I mean, if it ain't broke, don't fix it.
Yeah. And does McDonald's pull out the Ronald McDonald's, helping the little kid who can't skate yet? Do they pull that one back?
I don't think so. I feel
in a while.
like they killed Ronald.
They did because it was like, oh, he's telling kids to be fat and eat hamburgers. And I think they had to like
not a great role model
of him. Yeah.
Well, even just the character, like the guy in the suit with the painted face, I think it like freaked people out.
I think the general rule of thumb is you should teach your children not to trust clowns.
Yeah.
Like,
True.
just don't do it. It's
even the most harmless clown is still
bringing back
kind of goofy.
Grimace and like the hamburger.
Grimace is
like,
big.
We've started to see a resurgence of those old
the
McDonald's
Renaissance. Merry Christmas.
This is how we'll be remembered.
Yeah, that's right.
Daniel, you mentioned generations, and obviously you and I are from a different generation than Sophie, but also our producer Christian.
That's true.
I'd be curious. I don't know if we're rigged up for audio there. Christian, do you have movie recommendations for Christmas?
I do. And as somebody who celebrates the holiday Life Day.
Interesting.
Classic.
Never even heard of it.
My favorite Christmas movie is, in fact, the Star Wars Holiday Special.
The Star Wars Holiday Special.
Gotcha.
We just watched that 2 days ago. And it's one of those where I insist on watching it every year, and my family doesn't. And so they'll usually make it 10 or 15 minutes in. Christian, did you do it all in one sitting?
Yeah. No, I watch it like twice, maybe 3 times in a row, something like that.
That's hardcore.
Commitments.
Can you guys see that red dot that's dancing around Christian's forehead out there? I think George Lucas is at the end of a rifle scope.
I like the VR scene. It's the best.
Have you guys seen the Star Wars Christmas special?
I have not seen it, no.
All right.
I say that I have seen like bits and pieces over there, but I never sat down and watched it.
I've never seen a moment of it. I'm
going to describe it, and Christian, you step in and tell me if I'm misstating something here. But it's a Wookiee Christmas. Chewbacca is going back home to celebrate Life Day with his wife and kid, a little mutant kid Wookiee. There's
as far as Wookiees go, he's weird as hell.
There's a musical number by B. Arthur.
No way.
There's they're not the Solid
B.
Gold
Arthur.
dancers.
What was she?
B. Arthur, yes, and I not making this up. So they want it to be like a variety show, so it's
Gotcha.
2.5 hours long or something. It's really really long. And
this is on your Plex?
It is on my Plex.
Okay,
yeah.
I will be checking it out. I will be doing homework.
Jefferson Starship performs a song in there.
Walking on Sunshine.
I think they were Jefferson Starship at that point.
Yeah, they had advanced the airplane into a starship.
Yep.
They were Jefferson Airplane, and they became Jefferson Starship.
And then they just became Starship.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Christian, what's your favorite moment of the Star Wars Christmas special?
Yeah. I was gonna say, I think his favorite moment is right before he drinks the bottom of that tea.
I always liked how the Imperial soldiers, when they're like searching the house on the bottom floor, they're just like, I'll move this little book, I'll move that book. But when they get to the kids' room, they destroy everything. Like they rip the head off his Bantha doll, and I mean, just destroy everything.
They brought in the Stormtrooper A team. Really searched his place.
When they searched the Millennium Falcon, they couldn't find Han and them hiding under a panel. But this kid might have something in that doll.
Yeah,
that's not mine. I was keeping it for a friend. It's not mine. Did you say Chewbacca has a wife in this?
And a kid.
And a kid.
And a kid. Huh. All right. I don't know that I buy that, but okay.
So George Lucas absolutely hated this thing, so it's not considered canon.
Okay.
But I mean, it has Mark Hamill, Harrison Ford, Carrie Fisher, like the whole cast. the original Star Wars movie had just come out, and I guess it had come out earlier that year, and they were like, hey, we got to make sure we sell some toys at Christmas. We need this on people's minds. We need a Christmas special. And it was CBS or NBC. And so they were like, who's on our network that has to be on here? And so they got like, oh shoot, not Tim Conway. Remember on Carol Burnett, they had Tim Conway and the other guy.
I always think of Tim Conway.
Yeah. So,
but I know who you're talking about.
We'll get him.
He used to like break and crack up all the time because Tim Conway would be killing him.
Yeah. So they would have him and B. Arthur and friggin' Jefferson Starship, like just whoever CBS could get to jam in this special, and they're like, "It's Star Wars, do it."
B. Arthur's like, "So you want me to sing? Like you hear my voice, right?"
Interesting. I will, if I can find it, I will be sure to maybe watch some of it.
I'm sure it's on YouTube. There's no way to like legally obtain it. Like the story is, and Christian probably knows more than me on this, but that George Lucas bought the masters and destroyed them.
Yes.
Huh. Wow. So there's a whole like Star Wars holiday special conspiracy.
He's not a fan.
Oh. Ooh. Okay. Wow.
He's not a fan of the original Star Wars.
Christian, have you watched the Lego reboot they did of it, the Lego Christmas special?
I in fact did watch it, and it's pretty entertaining.
It's actually good versus the original one, which is more of a camp cult following.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Well,
your face was awesome to hear that George Lucas does not enjoy the original Star Wars films.
Yeah, that's interesting.
He called them unfinished. He did not like them. That's why you have so many like remastered, digitized, extra special effects, this, that, and the other. And he has the originals under lock and key, and they do not see the light of day because he does not like them.
Sounds like George Lucas is a little bit of a perfectionist.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's one word you could use.
Yeah.
I'd use a different one.
Weird.
We certainly do have quite a bit of homework, quite a lot more homework than I thought we would have. I do want to say, though, that I mentioned Goodfellas being a Christmas movie. I got some flack for that. But you could, in theory, watch as a trilogy, Goodfellas being the first movie, and you pay specific attention to Tommy's story, right? And then at the end of it, you don't really hear much about what happened to him. Well, see, what really happened is he changed locations, he changed his name, and now he just knocks over houses in this neighborhood. He gets arrested. So you watch Goodfellas, you watch Home Alone, and then you watch. It's a prequel.
Yeah,
it's a prequel.
I got you.
He's in witness protection.
Yeah. And that's why he doesn't cuss in the first and second Home Alone. He just goes the whole time. He just like mumbles. So watch Goodfellas, watch Home Alone and Home Alone 2, and consider it a Christmas trilogy.
I heard they had to pay Macaulay Culkin like $100 every time they swore.
Seriously?
Yeah, like it was a thing.
That's pretty funny.
And they did that so that they would keep their mind on what they were saying.
Huh.
Crazy.
And not swear.
That's interesting.
Yeah.
Okay, didn't know that. He recently got his star on the Hollywood Walk of Fame. Macaulay Culkin did.
Did he?
So Merry Christmas to him. Hope he's doing well.
Listen, he's made some movies that have become
some money.
Americana, right?
Yeah, exactly. I know that's a little off topic, but there you go. If you're looking for a little bit of a weird homework assignment, there's my homework for you, in addition to Grinch and Four Christmases. Is there anything else we want to share, movie, music, YouTube-wise, that folks should be watching or listening to in our absence?
I think we've come up with a big enough of a list.
Oh, yeah.
So this is a good spot for us to wind things down. And I, generally, I want to thank all of you for sticking with us through the years. Technado is going into its 6th year.
That's
I
crazy.
think we're on episode 380 something. It's up there. So thank you all. I hope you all have a safe, enjoyable holiday season, and I hope 2024 goes cybersecurity breach free for you. That's my Christmas wish.
And that's where it will remain.
Do you have any parting words before we go into the new year, Daniel?
Yes. Merry Christmas, Happy Holidays.
All right. Merry Christmas, Happy Holidays. In the wise words of NSYNC. Okay. Awesome. Merry Christmas, Happy Holidays.
Modern day prophets.
Well, thank you so much for joining us for this slightly abridged version of Technado. Like Don said, this is pre-recorded. So we hope that you are enjoying the holidays, spending time with loved ones, and we will see you in the new year for another full year of Technado.